Step into the arms of love. It's a feeling you can take hold of. Join us in our celebration. Feel the grace flow through your heart. Embrace the friendship and connection. When you become a part of healing and inspiration, balance and faith, prayer and contemplation, freedom and grace. Join me in this. I say amen. 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 I say amen. 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 And so it is. That's intended to let you know what you get when you step in here. That's what that's intended to do, so thank you guys for being here. So we're going to do a pray-in right now. We're going to find that space inside of us where we recognize that connection with Source, with Spirit. And we have prayer chaplains throughout. If you'd please stand up right now so that we can recognize the prayer chaplains. And we need your consciousness. We need that loving consciousness as we enter into prayer. Take a deep breath, please. And release it. Let's just know and feel the presence of Spirit right here in this very space. In, around, and through each of us. In, around, and through the air we breathe. In, around, and through who we truly are at a core level. That Spirit in action. We recognize this presence. We also recognize this presence as love. We come here to the Unity of Pasadena Sanctuary to meet and express it with one another. We express it in various ways. We recognize that our volunteers are so loving and caring and work hard to bring all of the things that we need to bring a Sunday to you and to experience this Sunday. And we thank each and every one of these volunteers. They bring the love that they bring every Sunday. And you know what? We love Sundays. We thank our Board of Trustees. We're so proud to have a board that's so engaged in what's happening here at this Unity of Pasadena. We're so thankful for the congregants. We're so thankful for our musicians. We're so thankful for our prayer chaplains, which hold a consciousness of loving kindness and compassion for each and every one of us. We have great thanksgiving for all of this. We recognize it now, when we know it as well as the expression of Spirit, expressing through each of us. And so it's with this great thanksgiving that I release these words into the law of mind, knowing that they are done. And please join me by saying, and so it is. So we're going to do a little holy, 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 huh? I can't wait. Thank you, Paul. Thank you, Andrew.
We are holy, holy, holy. We are holy, holy, holy. We are holy, holy, holy. We are whole. You are holy, holy, holy. You are holy, holy, holy. Holy, holy, holy. You are Spirit divine, come to me, feeling love, healing me. Open my heart, allow me to see beauty and love lives in me. Holy, 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 we am home. Holy, 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 I am whole.
Whew. Well, we got some singers in here. Did you hear all the harmony? It's great. I think I counted like an 8-part harmony there, you know? I think it was really, really good, yeah. Hey. So I'm Reverend Greg Dorst. It's so nice to see all of you today. You have made it to Unity of Pasadena. You're in the sanctuary, and this is a special place. It really, really is. I don't know if you know this or not, but if you stand right underneath that lamp there so that you're right under the apex of this beautiful ceiling and do a little om, it'll resonate throughout the sanctuary. I think that's mathematical, right? You know, I think that shows that this was built in such a way as to give us this beautiful, beautiful acoustic ability. Yeah, so neat. Anyway, if you've never been here before, we welcome you. If you've been here before, we welcome you. We'd love to see you. We'd love to see the seats filled. Bring your family, bring your friends. You know, we are wide open, and you're going to hear some fantastic music today. We're going to have a song that you can join in on in just a second, but I want to give a little preface to it. You might have noticed some pink in the parking lot. You know, did you see all that pink in the parking lot? Yeah. The pink in the parking lot is a way of honoring somebody who is having a birthday. I mean, and when I say is having, I mean this is her birthday month, because I think you celebrate it the whole month, don't you? Yeah, just you nod. Yes, you celebrate it the whole month. And the way we can join in the celebration is to sing happy birthday for her. Want to do that? Should we do that? Okay, this is Norma. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Norma. Happy birthday to you. And Norma happens to be one of the volunteers I was talking about. She is the board president, by the way. You know, so yeah, we're thinking about letting you keep that parking spot. It's up to you. Hey, I want to thank Jackie for stepping in for Barbara today to do the streaming and the sound. She along with Sandy, are actually in charge of everything IT today. And so far, so good, huh? I mean, really, really good. It's really good. Yeah. So today is going to be a marvelous day. We're going to begin with our unity blessing. If you could join me in this, please. We love you. We bless you. We appreciate you just the way you are, and that's the truth. And please join me in the statement of faith as well. There is only one presence and one power active in my life and in the universe. God the good omnipotence, and I am one with that presence and power. What a start, what a start. And so we're going to do a little thing that we call community. We're going to talk about our community. Are you doing that today, Norma? You going to do that in your birthday voice? Yeah, come on, come on. Thank you.
I don't know what my birthday voice is, but it's my voice. Okay. Good morning, everyone. And thank you so much for that honor. I really appreciate it. I was kind of turning pink and red and kind of different colors back there, but thank you so much. We love you. Well, thank you. Oh my God. And I love all of you as well. Thank you. And welcome. And I see we have some new folks here, and we're so excited. And we are looking forward to seeing all of you back, of course, next week. Today we're going to start with our vision statement. So please join me in saying the vision statement that you will see up on the monitor here. Envisioning a world powerfully transformed through the growing movement of shared spiritual awakening. And our mission statement is transforming lives by living and sharing our inner truth of divine wisdom, compassion, and love using practical spiritual principles. Great. And of course, our core values that drive us as a spiritual family: creating community, living love, teaching truth, and serving spirit. And of course, you can find these statements at the front of the monthly bulletin, and they definitely represent our intentions as a ministry. They're also in the bulletin, by the way. You also have the scheduled events for each month, and they're also on our website. Okay, now this is the 4th week of the month, and hospitality teams S through Z are leading our time today. So thank you. Next week, the first Sunday of September, will be led by teams A, B, and C. That's the shortest little alphabet thing because the rest of them are super long, but we can say ABC really quickly. Okay, thank you to every team for the wonderful food that we enjoy and share every Sunday. Providing food, setting up, serving, and cleaning up is truly a sacred service, and we thank you all for it. Just please mark your calendars because we have another special event. And I would like to recognize our treasurer, Charmaine, who is always on the ball and scheduling all these wonderful events and activities for us. Thank you, Charmaine. And this one is a special event with a person by the name of Phyllis Douglas. And, oh, Phyllis Douglas is here. Hi, Phyllis. All right. How exciting. Thank you for joining us today. And as you see, we're honoring you and excited that you will be here on October 2nd. So please mark your calendars. Sunday, October 2nd, from noon to 12:45, with her angelic voice, leading us in a time of divine connection and healing. Registration will be $20 again, and it will be open until, open in September, okay? It's just a week from this Wednesday that we will be holding the High Watch in concert with Unity Worldwide Ministries for the World Day of Prayer at Unity's Village in their 29th year, by the way. The 2022nd affirmation, which helps us, each of us, apply the theme to our own lives, is, I pray with an elevated mind and open heart. We hope you will join Reverend Greg with our prayer chaplains at 7 p.m. on September the 7th for a time of immersion in prayer at a higher level. Remember, Tea Time with the Chaplains, prayer chaplains, returns on the second Sunday of September, which will be the 11th of September, after hospitality. Please mark your calendars. The Centering Prayer and Meditation Group continues to meet on Thursdays from 5:30 to 6:30 p.m. And you are all, of course, invited to join them. And today, Andrea Sheridan is going to be leading our meditation and offering one-on-one prayer after service here in the sanctuary. And that'll be with a few others as well. I see, I feel like romper room. I see Paul. I see Jackie. I see Bill. Where's my little? That's right. And let's see, Clifta and Colleen. And anyway, we have quite a few. And Luann, of course, Luann. Hi, Luann. Okay, thank you. Thank you for the reminder. I know I would be missing someone, I'm sorry. But anyway, we have so many prayer chaplains now. We are so blessed, aren't we? Yeah, very excited. Okay, so if you need and would like some prayer, please stay at your seats and they will come to you. Okay, but before Andrea leads us in meditation, we have our dear friend, Marty Arnold, who will share today's daily word. Oh yeah, absolutely, don't worry. And she didn't even tell me to do that.
I have to remember the microphone. Am I doing it, Jackie? The microphone, am I doing good? Okay, good. All right.
You want to make sure you get it right. Because you are tall. You are tall.
Oh, I hadn't known. In all seriousness, I do have to make a remark about purpose. I find that as years go by, decades go by, it's really important to have purpose. If you use those God-given gifts, which is my purpose, to share with everybody that I can, as much as I can, you stay true to spirit, and you know spirit never ages. So I pursue my purpose with passion. Over the course of my life, I have discovered what has kindled my passions, captivated my attention, and made me feel most alive. My passions lead me to discover my purpose, to which I choose to devote my time and my life. My highest spiritual purpose is to live from my divine nature. My divine gifts of life, love, and wisdom expressed uniquely through my passions, fulfilling me while demonstrating the truth of my being. I listen to the still small voice of spirit within to discern the best way to fulfill my purpose. I heed its calls to learn, discover, and grow. It is never too early or too late to embark upon the journey of a lifetime. I am ready, willing, and more than able. For this I was born, and for this I came into the world to testify to the truth. John chapter 18, verse 37.
This path of life and every step I take in faith leads me home to a place where all I know is love and grace. All I know is love. All I know is love. All I know is love and
From taller to short. Thank you, Marty. To know only love and grace. How divine, how beautiful. I'm always blessed by our meditation song, leading us into this place of prayer and depth that we can share together in the silence. Take a deep breath in with me as we center ourselves in divine love, in the peace that passes understanding. We know that peace shared between us and with others spreads throughout the world, in our neighborhoods, in the stores that we visit, in our communities, everywhere we go. So thoughtfully, let's say the prayer of St. Francis together. God, make me an instrument of your peace. Where there is hatred, let me sow love. Where there is injury, pardon. Where there is doubt, faith. Where there is despair, hope. And where there is darkness, light. Where there is sadness, joy. O divine presence, grant that I may not so much seek to be consoled as to console, to be understood as to understand, to be loved as to love. For it is in giving that we receive, it is in pardoning that we are pardoned, and it is through grace that we are given everlasting life. God is our resting place. We relax in the divine, and that we know within us all is well. We can let go. In the silence, we experience spiritual wholeness, completeness, harmony, and well-being. Here we discover ourselves as God truly made us, in its image and likeness, having all the joy, peace, harmony, and well-being that God is. Our yoke becomes easy and our burden light as we rest in the arms of divine love for the next 2 minutes. into the room with me again, slowly, feeling refreshed and we are renewed. As we go through our week, we are conscious that we coexist with God as a living witness to a living God in all we think, say, and do.
I am called to be a healer for all humanity. I am called to be a dreamer
Yeah, that last note was the money shot. Man, that was good. That was good. It brought me right up into that stratosphere where I know I'm connected. And that's what we're here to do. We're here to find connection. So let me tell you how this works, though, because this is really, really interesting. I decide what I want to talk about, and then the musicians get my talk title, and they call me and they say, "What is that?" And I say, "Well, what it is it's going to go in this direction, then it's going to go in this direction, and this direction," and they decide what songs probably will fit the talk. And they do such an amazing job. I mean, you hit this one right on the nose. This is unbelievable. Called to be. Oh, we're going to be talking about that. Yeah, you really knocked that one out of the park. Thank you, guys. And here's the real. This is the magic of the process. They may not know the songs at all before they start to learn them, so they can present them for us. And so we thank you so much. Yeah. So, we've been talking a little bit about Myrtle Fillmore. Myrtle Fillmore and Charles Fillmore, the co-founders of Unity. We just absolutely love Myrtle Fillmore. I know I do. I mean, she had this idea that, if you really, really want to know something about Unity, you'll subscribe to it. And that idea goes like this: I am a child of God, therefore I do not inherit sickness. I am a child of God, therefore I do not inherit sickness. Myrtle was sick with tuberculosis until she found a way to connect with this idea that God has no sickness. God is perfect health. God is wholeness. God is absolute, magnificent, peaceful wholeness. And so when she realized that she was a child of God and she shouldn't have any sickness, it shouldn't have been inherited, she started to work on releasing any idea that she was going to get sick and be sick because her family had always gotten sick and been sick. Her family was sick. She had tuberculosis. Her family was sick with other issues for as long as she remembered, and she didn't want to continue that process. And so she started moving into this healing idea that there's no sickness in God. And if I align myself with God, if I can align myself with the truth of my being, truly believe it, truly trust in it, then I won't have any sickness either. What a beautiful way to think. And as she started to do these things, she started to get better. As she started to enter into prayer, and she started to affirm that she's the child of God without disease, she got better. Now, her husband noticed all this, of course, Charles. Charles was doing his own thing. He noticed that she was getting better. And he started to pay attention. She told him how this was happening. She told him, you could get better too. He had fallen as a child and had an ice skating accident. And so he had a bad hip. And he needed healing as well. He needed to find a way to move in a freer way, to have the capacity to be more physical, to do the things he wanted to do. And so she kind of coached him along the way. She kind of brought him into the fold as to how to make this happen. I mean, this healing thing happen. And he got well too. Because they both got well, utilizing some of these principles that we're going to talk about today, they decided they would dedicate their lives, that they would answer the call to bringing a brand new way of being into the world. There were so many people that needed healing. In fact, Myrtle Fillmore, once the word got out that she had been healed of tuberculosis, started receiving letters. She got a ton of letters. A ton of letters came to her, and she answered every single one of them. They exist today in a book that's called Healing Letters. And you can access that on the internet. It's free on the internet. You can find a PDF copy of it. You can read it. It's a magnificent read. She does some great, insightful writing when she writes back to these suffering people. She helped a lot of people. She was the impetus behind Unity. She brought Charles into this. Charles absolutely was a necessary element because he brought a consciousness which was able to set forth all of the things you see today with Unity, such as Unity Village in Missouri, such as the magnificent number of churches and methodologies for bringing this idea of healing and wholeness to the masses. So together they really were incredible. They were incredible. But we have been celebrating Myrtle over the last 3 weeks. And today we're going to do the same sort of thing in a really interesting way, because I'm going to tell you today how Myrtle got to the place where she recognized that this was going to happen. This healing was going to happen. Her prayer, the way she prayed, the way she knew prayer had to exist in her mind and in her heart, brought her to that place, that point of healing. Really good stuff. But before we go there, I want to tell you that prayer seems to be the order of the day around here, you know. We had prayer chaplains in training yesterday here at this very space. And if you've kind of felt a chill as you walked in, that's because we were all working on prayer out there in the hall, the meeting hall, and we were working on prayer right here in this sanctuary. You know, and I was there. I was there for this. I loved every single second of it, by the way. It was magnificent. We really keyed on prayer. Our prayer chaplains are terrific people bringing a consciousness of love and caring and support for every single one of us. I mean, you prayer chaplains dedicating your life, answering the call to do the hard stuff, to step in and see the truth all the time. I mean, that's the hard stuff. Digging a ditch, you know, that's the easy stuff. Knowing the truth and staying true to it, that's the hard stuff. And so this training was really, really cool. It included a lot of time that we spent together practicing prayer and going through the different methodologies and parsing out ways of bringing this dynamic practice to each and every person we meet. So what a day. I mean, this prayer practitioner thing was, this prayer chaplaincy day yesterday was fantastic. And it's really fitting that it's before the World Day of Prayer that's offered by Unity on September 7th. Now, here on Wednesday night, that Wednesday, September 7th, we're going to have the prayer chaplains present materials that are sacred to them. We're going to engage in prayer. We're going to engage in a magnificent evening of love and light and connection. Don't miss it. This is going to be just fantastic. So you'll get to meet all of our prayer chaplains during that period of time too, and you'll get to meet me at a deeper level. So if you don't know me, come to this. Those Wednesday night, exposés where we get to do some of these things like this are really neat. So here's what happened. Myrtle started to understand that she'd been called to do something unique and different. The prayer chaplains now understand that they've been called to do something unique and different. And in fact, there is sort of a tagline for being a prayer chaplain here, and it's really about the words that the prophet Isaiah said. You too have answered the call if you're a prayer chaplain. Yes, here I am, Lord, use me. Yes, here I am, Lord, use me. There's a little poem that goes with that. Here I am, Lord, it is I, Lord. I have heard you calling in the night. I will go, Lord, where you lead me. I will hold your people in my heart. And this is what prayer chaplains do. Yes, I am here, Lord, use me. So, I started thinking about that as we were getting into all the work with the prayer chaplains, and I started to think, there is so much truth that is about being used, in your capacity, in your ability by God, in ways that you don't even know you're being used. I mean, you have no idea you're being used in this way until you take a really, really deep look at it. Let me say this. God uses you to heal yourself. How about that? Is that interesting? Is that interesting? God uses you to heal yourself. Do you know there's a mind-body connection? You do. We talk about it all the time. There's a mind-body connection. If your mind is in a place that is healthy, loving, caring, connected with spirit, health abounds. When you let yourself slip into the negativity of life, the grief, the resentment, all of the things that can bring you into that negative side of life, it can affect your health. And we know that. Science has shown that there truly is a mind-body connection. You go to the doctor, and the doctor says, yeah, you got an ulcer. What could have caused that, doctor? And you'll get a diatribe of, well, maybe you're not eating right, and you're probably not thinking right. You got a lot of stress on the job. I could name a lot of things that probably caused that. But it's a mind-body connection thing. Oh, you got high blood pressure, Greg. How did that happen? Well, it could be salt, but I don't eat much salt. But, it could be that. But what it probably is the stress I find that I'm unable to release. It's the inability for me to let go of some of the things I can't even control. Do you feel that? Does that happen to you sometimes? Yes, it does. Here it is. Today, we got not a care in the world. Nothing in front of us is bothersome at all, yet sometimes our mind goes back to what bothered us yesterday or what may be troubling us about tomorrow. But right here, right now, this is just awesome. This is fantastic. So God chooses you to not only be in charge of your health, but to heal yourself. God chooses you to love your children if you have them. God chooses you to love your neighbors. God chooses you to treat other people as you would yourself. God chooses you to do that. Isn't that interesting? Yeah, God's using you for those things. It's an interesting way to look at it, isn't it? God's not saying to you, this is your job. You do it. You hear it in your ears and you go, oh, didn't know that, God. Okay, let me get started on that right away. No, what this is how life unfolds for us. And we're given all sorts of clues as to how that happens. The funny thing is, if I want to receive love, I give it to you. God chooses me to understand that concept. God chooses me to understand the concept of cause and effect and circulation, the laws of circulation. And I enter into those things in order to have a full and meaningful life. So, God wants me, I believe. I don't think God has any necessary wants that he puts on anybody, or she puts on anybody, or it puts on anybody. But I know for sure that if God is love, then loving my children is the right thing to do. Yeah. God's not going to change their diapers. Never did. God never changed their diapers. No. And God never disciplined them either. God never got them ready for school and sent them off to school. Never happened. It never happened. God's using me to do this. I have 6 of them. Jackie, you're a saint. Saint Jackie. Yeah. So, when Isaiah said, use me, God, Isaiah was kind of passing over all these things that God was already using him for, God's been using you since day one, you see? Now, what does that really mean? What that really means when you take a look at it is that God's not just like using you because he can, or she can, or it can. No, what's happening is you're sort of an agent of God. All right, let's get a little closer than that. All right, so you're not just an agent of God, you're God's right arm. Oh, maybe your mind is the mind of God now, and that's how you know what to do. Wow, we're getting closer to God now, aren't we? We're getting really, really close to God. Because if you're an agent of God, usually you think of angels and stuff like that, right? No, I'm not going there. You can if you want. But each and every one of us is God living, experiencing, breathing, walking, talking, helping, loving, and being a community. Isn't that cool? That's how God's using us each and every moment of each and every day. So, you see, prayer chaplains, when they step into this, have to be ready to hone their skills around prayer. Have to be able to move into that space where Myrtle Fillmore moved. Myrtle Fillmore moved into that space where she actually got to what we call the highest level of prayer so that she could be most effective. So I'm going to talk about 4 levels of prayer real quick. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on each one, but I want you to understand that there are different levels of prayer, and you'll get this when I start talking. So you can talk to God. You can talk to God, you can pray to God, and you can ask God to give you things. Sometimes we call that the Santa Claus God, You say, yeah, get me out of this, or can I have that, or I want this, or I want that. And you maybe expect a result, maybe you don't. You've never gotten one before, so you don't. But this is sort of a beseeching way of dealing with a God that's obviously outside of you, kind of like you'd ask a mother or a father, can you get me that? Get me that, please, I want that. Yeah, an outside source of all goodness. Not an inside source of all goodness, an outside source of all goodness. And so I call that the to level, T-O, praying to God. And then there's the next level of prayer, which is the for, praying for kind of prayer, which is interesting because they can be really, really powerful prayers, but you're asking God to do something for other people or for yourself, or make me an instrument of thy peace is really one of those lines that is praying for. And there's a lot of beauty in the prayer of St. Francis. I love it. It's one of my favorite prayers of all time. But it's asking God to do something for a particular purpose. Not just for yourself, but it's the next level up. The third level of prayer is when you co-create with God. The expectation is that you're going to align with God, and God and you are going to do this together. Your mind, your body, your actions, your feelings are in alignment with God on this particular issue so that you can co-create. You can do this thing together. We call that praying and moving our feet. We spend a lot of time when we're in this kind of prayer recognizing that we can really harmonize with our source. That we can become very, very so close that we are the hands and feet of God, that we are closer than breath. Right from the Bible, it's right there. Jesus said that we are to do these things that he can do. And God was right here in Jesus' world. And he thought it not robbery to call himself equal to God. And he asked us to do the same thing. This is nestling up. This is co-creating. This is doing this thing with God. That's a level of prayer that we find in places like Unity. We see that level of prayer. And what we do is we pray as Jesus would have us pray. When he said, pray as if it's already yours. That's what we're doing. We're praying as if we together, God and I, or God and us, are creating this thing. We have the idea, and we are the hands and feet. That's an interesting level of prayer. You feel it. You feel the connection with God in that kind of prayer. God's not outside anymore. You're feeling inside what must be done. The fourth level of prayer, this is where Myrtle Fillmore was, by the way. The fourth level is really, really interesting. It's sort of, I want you to stick with me on this because it can be kind of hard to track. This one is where you pray as God. Praying as God. Now, the reason why it's so hard to track is because this actually, praying as God, is about your experience in the moment. And I'll say it like this. I'll use Myrtle Fillmore as the example. So she knew that her thoughts were creative. She knew that her thoughts coupled with her feelings could create sickness or health. She knew that there was so much power in the way she was thinking, believing, feeling, and moving in this world that if she really was that which God is, then her thinking, her words, her feelings, and her actions were actually prayers of God. She was acting as God. Oh, wow. Wow. She got to that space. She got, in her letters, she writes amazingly beautiful passages where she says, I had to stop thinking any negative thoughts. I could not enter into that realm where I was feeling any resentment or anger or ill will toward anybody, where I was feeling that negativity had to be the order of the day. And by the way, that's a really hard thing to do if you've tried. You know, it's hard to weed all that negativity that comes popping in. We have an interesting life we lead today. You know, we're bombarded with all kinds of things. You know, science says that if you want to hold on to positive thoughts, you have to hang on to them for about 15 seconds before they'll stay with you. But unfortunately, negative thoughts are like Teflon. They're like, the negative thoughts are like what's that stuff that sticks together? Velcro. You know, they stick to you really fast. You think these negative thoughts, and they're right there. But the positive thoughts are more like Teflon. You know, they slide off. You got to hold on to them for a while. So she had to stay in that space. She had to stay in that positive space where she saw goodness in life, where she didn't let herself go off into this arena where she, believed herself to be something other than the child of God. Are you with me on this? Do you understand where she is in this? I mean, she was praying with every thought of wholeness. She was praying with every movement toward her health. She was praying with every feeling of gratitude and happiness. That's praying as God. That's the fourth level of prayer. You know, here's the thing. If you cannot find yourself in that space where you recognize that God is perfect, whole, and complete, and that's you, then you're going to have a hard time demonstrating or bringing about that perfection, that wholeness, and that complete nature. You're swimming against the current. Nestle into this. Recognize that you are that which God is. Pray as in every thought, in every feeling, in every action that you take. Now, when I say that you're God, I know that's the truth, but I don't mean that you're the one and only up there that has all of this power to point and, whatever people consider to be that kind of God that you would pray to if you were in level 1. Now, that's not who I'm talking about. That's not who you are. No, you are this experience of God on earth, made of God's stuff. And that's the truth. So I have a feeling that there are some people in here that have been practicing that for a long time. Let me look around here. We got 90, we got 93, 93. 94 yet? You got 94 yet? Do I have 95? Do I have, no 95? No? All right, sold at 93. Been practicing it for a long time, And when I stand up here next year, I'm going to go, hey, 94. Wow, isn't that cool? I mean, this is how it works. This is how we feel the allness of God, and it's why we're called unity. It is the singular reason we are called unity, because there's only one thing, and that's God. Namaste. Yeah, well, that was fun. We have an usher that we're going to bring up here. Charmaine, are you ushing today? Come on, come on. You're either ushing or you're playing lacrosse. Looks. Doesn't that look like a little lacrosse basket, She should hold it, she should twist it back and forth as she walks down with that. Yeah. So we're going to do our community giving, and this is where we get a chance to recognize not only the joy that we enter into when we meet together here, but the value and the power of community. and the worth of community. We get a chance to feel and know and understand that a place like this really is of magnificent value, and we support the things that are valuable. And so we take our gifts and we hold them next to our heart as we say our community giving. God is the source of my overflowing supply, and I am grateful.
Something great has happened. Love has taken hold. Won't let go of us now. Yeah. Something here is calling us forward. Emotion that drives and you go on. You rise up with me today. Lift up your voice and boldly say, we are the ones we've been waiting for. The dream of your heart is calling. The hope of a new day dawning. We're the ones who can make a difference. Let's stand together. Share it for the world that's waiting for a change that we're creating. In the moment of our greatness, let's stand together now. Oh yeah. Come on, sing if you want to. Every day's a chance you can do something amazing. Feel your passion blazing. Hold on, oh yeah. Paint with every vision, dance in new direction. Explore to new thoughts in your mind. We rise up with me today. Lift up your voices and boldly say, we are the ones we've been waiting for. With the dream of your heart is calling, be the hope of a new day dawning. We're the ones who can make a difference. Let's stand together. Share it to the world that's waiting for the change that we're all creating. It's the moment of our greatness. Let's stand together now. Oh yes. Ooh, I feel it. Everybody, let's stand together. Everybody, let's stand together. Everybody, let's stand together. Let's stand together. Sing it. Everybody, let's stand together.
Everybody, let's stand together. Everybody, let's stand together. Everybody, let's stand together. Let's stand together.
Everybody, let's stand together. Everybody, let's stand together. Everybody, let's stand together.
Let's stand together now. Everybody, let's stand together. Everybody, let's stand together. Let's stand together now. Everybody, let's stand together. Let's stand together. Everybody, let's stand together. Everybody, let's stand together. Everybody, let's stand together. Let's stand together now.
Man. I don't know how you stand while you play the piano. You know, I mean, it sounds like you're using some of the pedals too, so man, that's a long reach. Yeah, Jerry Lee Lewis, you know, the knee, playing with the knee. Awesome. Come on forward, Charmaine. So this is a chance for us to enter into Thanksgiving around the giving, the love, the beauty of a community that supports one another. This is a chance to be grateful for the things that we can do not only here, but in the surrounding community, the giving that we do to other nonprofit corporations, the things that we do to help people every day We are so grateful for this ability to do it. We promise to use this tithe, these treasures, with integrity. That's our promise here at Unity of Pasadena. And so, with this thanksgiving, I release it into the law of mind, knowing that it's done. And please join me by saying, and so it is.
So
Amen.
it is.
Thank you. All right, so I'm going to ask us all to stand together. Let's stand together, yeah. We're going to do the silent unity prayer for protection together. And then what song are we singing after that, you guys?
Peace song.
We're going to sing the peace song today. Okay, good. We know the words to that one, although they will be up on the board. Please join me. The light of God surrounds us. I am light. The love of God enfolds us. I am love. The power of God protects us. I am power. The presence of God watches over us. I am presence. Wherever I am, God is. I am divine, and all is well. And that's the truth. Come on.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, a peace that was meant to be, with God as
a door, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in
perfect harmony.
Let peace begin
With me, let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow, to take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.